It was about a 3-year process that actually, before we finally launched out of the church that we were at. And so we did some recruiting in that aspect. We actually had a care group that a majority of them actually came with us to plant. The rest of the people that came, we actually sent out a lot of mailers. We did a lot of interest meetings. We got involved in a lot of parades, knocking on doors with some of people from our launch team and just inviting people. Out of all those, the most effective way that we gathered people was actually door to door. It is personal touch. We sent out mailers. So what we did is we sent out mailers first, inviting them to an interest meeting, and then we went and knocked on the 2,000 doors that we knew the mailers were going to, invited them to the interest meeting. And when we did that, I mean, that was the most successful. That was 40 people at our soft launch, and by the time we had our grand opening, we had 50 people. So we added another 10 people within a month to be on our launch team.
We didn't have a launch team. What we did have, though, was a group of pastors that had not planted in this area, just felt a strong calling from God to really do something. And so they started to create a list. And so we had a hit list of people to contact as we moved into the community, of people that were plugged into other restoration-minded churches that had moved to Columbus. We did some advertising. We saw a few more come in, leaned into friendships, leaned into some networking in the community through different organizations and partnering with those, volunteering, setting up outreach events, building relationships through that. So we really went from that 7 that we had at a Bible study to, with their families involved, we had 20 when we moved to Sunday services. And then by the time we got to soft launch, we were 35 people.
Nobody knew us when we came. We knew we were going to have a church service 4 months in. So we had 4 months to get to know people, get them on a launch team. We started to have consistent vision nights in different neighborhoods around our town. We would spend the week knocking on doors, inviting people. We're a new church. You'd like to come hear about our church. We did block parties in our neighborhoods. When we started to get people on our launch team, we invited them to do block parties. The biggest, most successful thing that we did was simply live life as Christians. So wherever we went, the grocery store, the park, the swimming pool, the ball field, we were striking up conversations, and eventually those conversations would lead to, hey, we don't know anybody in the area. We'd love to have you guys over for dinner just to get to know you. People would come over for dinner. We'd had nights of the week scheduled out. We're having people over for dinner this week, every week. And we just keep getting to know new families in the area. We had a goal to commit to the launch team of 50 people. We had 40 on our launch team before our first Sunday, and 17 of them showed up to our first service. And that grew from 17 to 14 by the next week, I would like to say. So we were on a great path of church growth.
Gathering a launch team wasn't actually that as difficult because we had a great mothering church in Rapid City. We started attending there when we weren't on the road fundraising, and then spending the rest of our time here in Spearfish just trying to meet people and get into businesses. Our launch team consisted of about 30 people from the mothering church in Rapid City that were on rotation for a year and would make the trip to Spearfish to help us do church.
Before we launched with Kinetic, we had lived here for 10 years. We moved here in 2009 to take over the campus ministry at the University of South Carolina. So then when we went about building our launch team, we went to all those students and we said, hey, why don't you come do this with us? It's going to be drastically different. We're going to plant an established church that's got a bigger vision than just campus.
The biggest thing that we did was we had like a Bible study. Out of a group of that, I started meeting with some guys on Monday mornings. Really, that was kind of the heart of it was I would go to the coffee shop and hang out, and I had a little sign that said I'd buy somebody a cup of coffee if they'd tell me their story. And so I just kind of met people that way, and we tried a lot of different things. We went door to door, we hung door hangers, we tried to have interest parties, we did free pizza. I thought we were going to come in, we were going to instantly have 100 people. And I was thinking by our grand opening, we'd be able to push that to 150 to 200. Like, I was super optimistic. I was like, man, we're going to kill it. And we started with 11. By the time we got to our grand opening in August, we were in the 40s.
It was just me and my family. We really did kind of parachute in. We started, trying to get people Immediately, even before we landed, we were trying to, contact people. During our fundraising phase as well, one of the things we always asked for, besides money and prayer, was if you have any names, give us names of anybody that we can call that may be interested in being a part of this launch. And that was a lot of our launch team was just coming from, oh, hey, I have a daughter that's there, or hey, I have a grandson that's in school there.
I had launch parties for them to come in and to hear the vision of the church and say yes or no if they want to be a part of it. The most effective way for us at Emerge Church to bring people in onto the launch team was truly being out in the community. So really what it came from is a few of the core families that were part of it. We would all be stationed, in essence, within local coffee shops, and we'd build relationships with everyone in there. And still to this day, you'll find me at Panera Bread sitting in front of the fireplace, and I'll have some random stranger sitting next to me that I'll be sharing and inviting in along. And there's been probably hundreds that have come to church at least once or stepped back into another church just because they've sat down.
If I were to do it over, I would do two things, and I would hit these two things very hard. I would flood social media because social media is free, have a poster video every single day inviting people to those vision nights and to those dinners. And we would have an every Sunday night dinner at our house where we would be consistently inviting people over, and that group would start to grow. It'd be a gathering, and eventually into some Bible topics and launch team training.
God blessed me with 40 people. And so that was just absolutely amazing. If I were to do it over, I would say, hey, I need to look specifically into these ministries and say, if I want to do church this way, that I feel God has called me to, I need this many people to be there in specific positions. And that would have given me a much better idea of what I needed to launch.